I'm Jax and
I'm Karina.
We are going to do a practice of some salutations, A's, B's, and then give some variety and offer some variations in a flow. So for those who are newer or get confused in the class and you're unsure of the options, we call them bus stops in Karina's classes. So you get to choose which stop you want to get off when the bus is riding along the street, which is in a Vinyasa class. So Karina, go ahead and step at the top of your mat. And we'll just start to ground and get settled. So with your arms by your sides, feet can be together or apart. I like to have my toes spread and just create a little bit of space through the soles of my feet. So go ahead and see how that feels for you. Nice. And then as we ground down to what we say 4 points of our foot, of both of our feet, the arch starts to lift. And then the thighs, the legs start to engage. Good. The idea is to root down through the floor into the earth, but also pull energy up through the body. Good. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And just one clearing breath out the mouth. Good. Eyes can be open or closed as we bring our palms together to heart center. And we're just going to settle here for a few more moments. If you're familiar with the Ujjayi breath, you're welcome to begin that now. So the Ujjayi breath is in through the nose, out through the nose. Finding perhaps the same length to inhale, matching that length as you exhale. Good. Start to notice the shoulders drawing into the back body, the crown reaching up towards the sky. So as we find length in the spine, find space in the heart, and peace in the mind. Good. Shall we Om? We'll breathe in for an Om together. Hands down by your sides, Samasthiti. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale with a soft bend in the knees. You can hinge from the hips as you forward fold. You could use hands on blocks, hands to shins or upper thighs. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's do that twice more just to get started. Inhale, halfway lift. So find length through both sides of the body. Exhale, hinge and fold. Start to draw the navel in. One more time. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale. As you fold this time, step one foot back at a time for plank. Good. So let's set up plank for just a few moments. As the heels press back, the head, the top of the crown, reaches forward. Good. So Karina's arms are strong and engaged with the shoulders slightly in front of the wrists. The fingers are spread. The legs are engaged, and then the navel lifts in and up, so the hips stay leveled. How does that feel? Good? Strong. Let's choose strong. So you can broaden for your upper back if you like by pushing the floor away from you. Okay? And now it's a nice even plank. So one more breath here. We start to build some heat, warm up the body. And then exhale, lower to the knees, bend the elbows by the ribs, and then chest and chin all the way to the mat for the first round. Good. Pointing the toes, press into the tops of your feet. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Inhale, lift. So the elbows are pointing in and back. The heart is broad, collarbone expand. Exhale, head back down. Good. We'll tuck the toes and inhale, push up to tabletop. And just for this round, exhale, child's pose. Toes together, knees apart. So child's pose is always available through the remainder of any Vinyasa class. Either tabletop, down dog, or child's pose are nice variations. One more breath. Begin to rise through tabletop on an inhale. Tuck your toes. Lift into into our first down dog as you exhale. So listen to your body. Maybe Karina wants to walk her dog, bending one knee at a time. You could do it very slowly and intentionally. But really start to feel the ground beneath your palms. Recognize your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder joints. So the intention is not to dump all of your weight into the arms, but to distribute some weight back into your legs. Whether your heels touch the ground or not, immediately or ever at all. Good. The intention is to create this letter V upside down. Good. So we hollow out through the underarms by rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. And then the tailbone is drawing back, and the inner thighs are rolling in and back as well. Beautiful. And then it's a good idea to find your focus point, a drishti, and gaze there. So taking 2 more breaths here just to settle, and to recognize the strength of the body. 1 more breath. Really filling up, expanding. And then for the first round, you just step feet 1 foot at a time to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Maybe you go deeper this time. And then we root to rise. So grounding through the feet, reach out and up. Inhale. Palms may touch as you gaze up. And then arms by your sides. So we're going to do that just 2 more times, and each time adding a different variation. Inhale, arms sweep up. Navel draws in. Shoulders stay back. Exhale, forward fold. Let the heart lead. Halfway lift, 1 more time, create space. And then important to plant your palms down, whether you're using blocks or not, to step or jump back. This time, chaturanga off the knees, strong core, shift forward, elbows bend, lower just halfway down, just to the elbows, and then move through to upward facing dog. Beautiful. Shoulders back. Exhale, roll over the feet, down dog. So committing to your practice with the devotion, consistency is the purpose of the practice. To find that stillness, and that peace, and that love. The fingers are spread, a little bit more energy through the forefinger and thumb space. Ribs start to hollow out or soften inward as if you're hugging into the midline. Final breath. This time, Karina, if you'd like to step or float, feet to the top of your mat. Nice soft landing, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Root to rise, once again, reach all the way up, palms touch. Arms by your sides, gaze forward or slightly downward. In this last round, you go as big as you'd like, as strong as you'd like, or return to the first variation. Inhale, arms sweep up, find length. Exhale, find space. And halfway lift. Step or float, feet to the back. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. Okay, so now that you've warmed up, just for sake of timing, we'll just move through this next flow. As you look towards the front of your mat, sometimes we lift the right leg up. I believe that creates some momentum, and that could be useful. But for today, Karina, if you'll just step the right foot to the top of your mat. Good. And then you might need to shimmy the back foot as you lower the left knee. We'll come into a low lunge. Just get into the hip flexors. And taking your time, ground through the front foot. Back toes might be tucked for some of you, and back toes might point for others. Inhale, arms reach up. Just take a moment to settle here. As you draw the right hip back, this is also a softer variation for crescent lunges. to reset in the down dog. And then look to where you're going, know where you're heading, and then left foot steps to the top of your mat. Good. So it's just landing inside of the left big toe. Again, lowering the back knee, keep the front knee above the ankle. Inhale, arms to rise. So oftentimes, at least for me, I find that my foot could get wobbly. And if that happens to you, start to draw energy in through your inner thighs. So really get strong and engaged between your two legs. And then that ball mound of that left big toe, really root down, as if that's your anchor into the mat. The knee should feel good here. Final breath. Releasing, and the same options, either stepping to plank for your chaturanga or step back into down dog. Karina demonstrating the second option. We'll step or float through, feet to the top of your mat in the next breath. Halfway lift with that inhale, and fold with your exhale. We're going to just transition right into a B variation. So sitting into Utkatasana, chair pose, power pose, or fierce pose. Nice. So the weight comes into the heels. Yeah, a little bit lighter through the toes. So as you sit back and down, length through the sides. Good. Again, draw the ribs into the midline. And for some of us, like myself included, my arms need to come out in front for neck and shoulder pain. Yeah. So if it feels okay, arms do come up, and maybe even palms touch with gaze up. Then strong legs. Yeah, one more breath. And then when you inhale, stand up tall, reach up high. Exhale, arms by your sides, just stand. Standing at attention, one more breath. And then picking up the pace just ever so slightly. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the palms, exhale to step or float, and lower Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. This time we will lift the right leg, but keep the hips squared. So three-legged down dog. Yeah. So turning the toes down and in, create this internal rotation. And then if Karina had a wall or my hand, push the heel back. One inhale. Good. Slowly start to bring the knee towards your nose, chin, or forehead. And then let the foot land softly, top of the mat, heel to toes. Good. So coming right into crescent lunge, off of the knee this time. Inhale, arms reach up. Remember the first variation was an option, so if you'd like, lower the knee again. If not, stay here. And then pressing that heel back with as much emphasis, if you can, as the right knee drawn forward. So creating this lengthening. Yeah. Good. Ribs in again, find the shoulders over hips. One more breath. Maybe turn the pinkies in slightly if it feels okay. And release, hand down. Choose to flow, Chaturanga Dandasana. Or as always, optional, straight to down dog. Gorgeous. Keep with the breath as your guide. Second side, inhale, three-legged down dog, left leg lifts, just about hip height. Good. And as you internally rotate, really finding engagement through the outer leg, hamstrings and quads. Again, knee to nose, soft in the gaze. Step through, heel to toes. Good. Ground down before lifting up. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. And then this time, maybe you enjoy closing your eyes to really go inward. Really recognizing your stability that you created already, this foundation. It gets challenging when you close your eyes. Yeah. And always laugh at yourself. It's a good medicine. One more breath. And release to flow through Chaturanga, optional, or flow straight to down dog. I have to say, Karina, in front of all of our viewers, it is very challenging not to touch you right now because I just want to give you some love in guidance in the beginning, if child's pose or tabletop is needed, please honor your body. We're here for 2 more breaths. Notice how she's grounding down through the hands. Also energy, I noticed lowering through the legs, down through the feet. So it's this flow. Good. Step or float, feet to the hands. We'll add on to this vinyasa practice. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, chair, strong legs, navel in, tail down. Stand, samasthiti, arms by your sides. Good. How are we doing? Okay, we're gonna add a little vinyasa flow variation here. Inhale, chair. Exhale, release. Good control. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Step or float, chaturanga, optional, on or off the knees. Awesome. With the breath, right foot steps forward. Crescent lunge, inhale. So be mindful, we're going to transition into a warrior B or Virabhadrasana B. So as the back heel turns down, the arms come across your chest, in front of you and behind you. So we really want to anchor down through the peaky edge of the left foot. And as the left leg is straight, then you can start to trap or draw the right knee forward. Gorgeous. So shoulders above hips. We're going to do a little bit of a warrior dance here. So inhale, Viparita, Virabhadrasana, right arm reaches up, left arm down. And just feel that expansion through the ribs, through the side body. We'll hold here just as a warm-up for this round. Come back to center, pause. And then set up extended side angle. We're just going to break this down first round. So forward, right forearm to right thigh. Left arm reaches up, above the shoulder. And then, I don't know how you like to do it, but I like to roll my shoulder in front of me and then over my ear, if that feels good. Good. So again, lengthening through the left side, keeping the length in the right side, navel in. Good. The right hip tucks under slightly. And then Karina, if you want to show further variation, so then the next round will flow, you could have a hand to the inside or outside of the foot. Yeah, grab a block. Beautiful. And for those who are super warmed up or flexible, if you'd like, you could half bind or full bind. So half bind, just the top arm comes around. Beautiful. And if she's warmed up enough, she'll full bind, grabbing the left hand or wrist with the right hand. But heart continues to reach up. One more breath. Ground down, squeeze in to lift up. Inhale. Pause here, exhale. Good. One more breath. Go ahead and windmill or cartwheel your arms to frame your right foot. Pivot on your back toes. Step into plank. Chaturanga optional. Move through your flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Receiving a breath here. And then left leg, when you're ready, steps through to crescent lunge. So it's just setting up for Virabhadrasana 2 or warrior B. Back heel turns. And be really mindful with the knee. Awesome. So allow the left hip, left femur bone, left knee to create this external rotation so that the knee is drawing opening towards the pinky toe. And without force, I like to use the word or phrase, effortless effort. So allowing the yoga to meet you where you're at. Good. Viparita Virabhadrasana, left arm reaches up, also known as peaceful warrior or reverse warrior. So we never collapse into the back body or to the side body, always lifting and expanding. As you return to center, pause. Good. If you need to reset your legs, listen to the body, and then extended side angle this side. Beautiful. Good. So again, more weight in the back foot through the pinky edge. And this would be a great time to remind you that we don't want to dump collapse into our joints. So really feel like you're pulling energy up and continuing that energy to extend out and above you. Good. One more breath here, offering those variations, half foot, full bind. Good. The next day is long. Slow to release. Returning step by step, all the way back up. Good. Hands to the ground, frame your front foot, move the block out of your way. Choose to chaturanga, on or off the knees. And down dog. Good. Come to your knees for just a moment of rest. Whether you tuck your toes or not, just come to your heels, sit up. And almost like a reset or an assessment. I might even call it an inventory check. So how's my breath? How's my body feel? And where's my mind? Am I here? One more. Good. With clear intention and purpose, hands come to the front of your mat. Step back into down dog, lift the knees, lift the heels, and lower the heels. Good. We're going to do that with a little bit of a flow to conclude today's practice. So breath to movement, step or float, feet to your hands. Beautiful, halfway lift, exhale, fold. One more chair pose, Karina, Utkatasana, inhale. Samastiti, exhale. Good, and live, second to last chair pose. Bend your knees, inhale. Forward fold from the hips, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Palms down, feet back, chaturanga, exhale. Good, see she opted for the knees. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Good. Breath to movement. Inhale, right leg lifts. Or not. Step through. Next inhale, arms reach up. My God. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, set up your side angle. Inhale, warrior 2. And reverse warrior. Inhale, front and center. Exhale, side angle. We'll do that again. Inhale through. Exhale, warrior reverse. And do that one more time on your own. Take your flow, hands to the mat. Again, chaturanga optional, on or off your knees, or eliminate it. And now you know what you're doing. Second side, left leg when you're ready.
I forgot where I was going.
Oh, inhale, crescent lunge. My bad.
That's me.
Bad teacher.
That's me.
Exhale, warrior 2. Good. Side angle, set it up. Through to reverse. And then just 2 more, finding your flow. So your breath length and depth might be different than my cueing or Karina's. That's why it's important to give yourself opportunity to experience yourself. And then release to your final chaturanga, dandasana. Notice how her heart and chest stays broad and open, never collapsing or lowering beneath the elbow height. Stay here for just 2 breaths unless you need to come down to your knees already. And I might encourage you to check in, how does this down dog feel? Perhaps slightly different than the first. A nice way if you want to practice jumping through. I think we did this tutorial on the blocks, or if you don't need them, opening up the hands a little bit wider, creating space. You could bring your legs and arms somewhat closer. And then Karina, if you like, step or jump through, your choice. Perfect. Legs out in front. Just a clearing Dandasana staff pose. So bringing your toes up so the ankles are flexed. Hands by your sides, nice. So notice Karina has a long, tall spine, shoulders are drawing into the back. And just like when we stand, the crown is reaching up. And hopefully, I'm sure, her sits bones feel rooted and grounded into the earth. Good. So it's just meant to be a neutralizing posture in my experience. One more breath. Creating that Mahabandha, the great lock, drawing energy in and out through our center channel, and perhaps slightly through the chin and throat lock. Good. Paschimottanasana into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Again, we hinge from the hips. Try to keep the low back as flat as available. You're welcome to bend the knees a little or a lot. Whether you touch your feet or not is up to your anatomy and your breath. Stay here for a few more. So again, building strength through our practice and through our breath. Recognizing that there are many ways to get to where we want to go. That everybody's body looks and feels different, as well as our body is different every day when we wake up than it was the day before. Creating this expansion through the ribs, through the breath, inhale. And then slowly come up. Would you like to counter with an inverted plank or reverse tabletop, or lower to your back? Okay, she's ready to go down, so let's lower down to our back. So take a moment just to pause in a brief Shavasana, allowing everything to settle into the ground. Maybe close your eyes. Knowing where you are, that you're safe and supported. So a lot of our standing asana practice helps us to be grounded through our root chakra. So feeling the connection to the earth and the safety and support that you have in this moment. You can bring your knees into your chest one at a time, or at the same time, give yourself a hug. And if it feels like a massage, rolling side to side, or just simply hold still. Since we are closing today's practice, I would just encourage you at home, if you have a bridge practice, you're welcome to move into that. At times I like just going into happy baby pose or blissful baby, Ananda Balasana. Which would you prefer, if either of those? Bridge pose or happy baby pose? Yeah. So with happy baby pose, we want to keep the shoulders towards the ground. So oftentimes what I've noticed, and Karina, let me know if you have as well, students are looking to touch your feet and they have their shoulders off the ground. So we're trying to not create that, to eliminate that. So for sometimes you need to grab the ankles, the calves, or even on the hamstrings, just behind the thighs. As long as the feet are flexed and the toes towards the nose, the head is on the ground, the chin is just slightly in, not jamming, but keep the neck long. Because that should feel really nice with the whole back body on the ground. Does that feel nice? Awesome. So whether you hold here or extend one leg straight at a time, I see some students like to do that. And then a supine twist is sometimes, or not always, but most times, a nice closing shape or closing posture. So whatever variation you want, either knees together, feet together, opening up the arms, creating the letter T. You might like to lower the knees to the left and look to the right. Good, we'll show two more demonstrations, coming back to center. If you want to just hug your right knee in and let the left leg go out. Good. You might just twist there with one leg bent, one leg straight. Beautiful. And then if you want to go even further, eagle legs, or also known as twisted roots, might be an option for some. Paying attention to where your neck wants to be looking, whether it's up or out. And breathe. 2 more breaths. Transitioning in your own way, in your own time as you come back to center. And then switching sides. Continuing this Ujjayi breath until we meet Shavasana as best as you can. Final breath. And returning to the center line. And once again, checking in if you'd like a hug of the knees, perhaps a bridge pose or reclined butterfly pose where the feet come together, Baddha Konasana, knees apart. Yeah, they're giving themselves that sense of just affirmation, confirmation. I am here now with a hand on the heart, maybe a hand on the solar plexus, just above the belly button. And scanning your body for sensations, sensations as information or messages that you might need or like to hear. You could continue to stay here as we close the recording or start to extend your legs out, maybe bring them together first and then one leg at a time. Your Shavasana is that you let your arms open out to the sides of you, feet out to the sides. And if you have a blanket near you or any support you might like, a bolster or a pillow. And give yourself a moment to exhale fully out the mouth. A message to your body to relax, to receive, to integrate. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. If you have another recording device or a timer, please set yourself up anywhere from 2 to 5 more minutes. But if you're ready to come out with us, a nice full body stretch might be welcomed. Arms overhead, toes away from the fingers. And then finding your way to your fetal pose, your fetal position on either side. And do pause there, try not to rush out of it. Giving yourself permission to just be. And then as you make your way up, perhaps keep your eyes closed to stay inward. And finding your final seat. Palms resting up or down on your knees or lap. Shoulders above hips, spine tall, mind and heart friendly. If you'd like to join us in closing palms together at the heart center, a slight bow, head to heart space. Inhale for Om. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May our thoughts, words, and actions contribute to that. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thumbs to third eye as we bow. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Much love from our hearts to yours.